Hello everyone, welcome to the fourth episode of IMT CDL Alumni Achievers Speak show today. IMT Center for Distance Learning for past 3 decades has been instrumental in carving the careers of the students and enabling them to reach newer heights in their profession. IMT Center for Distance Learning takes pride in its 30,000 alumni and recognizes their achievement and contributions to the industry and society. The Institute regularly organizes alumni events where the alumni can connect with each other, share their experiences, and contribute to the growth and development of the society. IMT Center for Distance Learning confers Distinguished Alumni Awards to honor our alumni who have made a mark in the society and the corporate worlds. The awards are given to the contribution towards society or public service, entrepreneurship, and corporate excellence in various areas like marketing, finance, human resource, operations, and technology. To know about the exemplary contributions made by the alumni awardees and to inspire other alumni and existing students, we invite them as a guest in the Achievers Speak series. For today's talk, I have with me Mr. Subhankar Ghose, who has been conferred upon the Corporate Excellence Award in Human Resource during Alumni Meet 2023. Mr. Subhankar is an engineer from NIT, an alumnus of IMT CDL with over 21 years of experience, has skillfully handled talent management, compensation and reward, organization and change management and HR business partner roles. He brings in a can-do attitude, which is very, very important for any HR professional, which thrives on integrity and a result-oriented focused approach for creating a culture of excellence. His association with various industry bodies make him a sought-after HR leader who has been awarded the most influential HR leader in India by the World HRD Congress. He has been associated with companies like Muthoot, FinCorp, ABP News, ROI Net Solutions, and currently working as Vice President HR Sales with Spice Money. Welcome to the series.
Thank you.
Subhankar.
Thank you, Dr.
Subhankar, can you tell us something about your journey from now you are a senior corporate position in a senior HR role? Can you give a brief about how you thought of getting across into this role and what was the how the journey was all about?
Yeah, thank you so much for giving this opportunity. My education, was in engineering field. So I did my BE Electronics and Telecommunication from NIT Silchar. Earlier it was REC Silchar. And I still have got a lot of fond memories. I started my career in the field of technology. So and then slowly moved to sales and marketing, and then to the field of HR. I somehow feel I'm quite fortunate and privileged. I always wanted to talk to people, understand people in a better way, and the habit of networking with people, which is required in sales, and I think it is equally important in the field of human resource, because at times what happens, when you work with people, they also require a person to share their thoughts, their challenges, and more than solution, people require somebody to hear them. So
Absolutely true.
I think giving them a patient hearing, was and is very important. And in due course of time, in the year 2008, I got an opportunity, to move from sales to human resource. At that time, the objective of the management in that organization was that if any person from sales comes to HR, they would be able to better understand the psychology of that function, that what are the uh, challenges and the pain areas people have when they work on the field. So if a salesperson comes to an HR, they would be able to patiently hear and maybe at least give them the support and maybe give them a possible resolution also, which will help that individual to achieve their target or goal and ultimately help the organization also to move forward. So, with that objective, they opened this internal job posting, and I think I was fortunate enough that pan India level, I was one among the 6 people who got chosen in that.
Okay.
So that is how I came into the field of human resource. So it was not a planned move, or I did have anything in my mind that I will go into the HR. But really, it's wonderful. So that's how the journey has been like.
Absolutely true. Sometimes there are certain things or some of our inner traits which we ourselves are not aware of. And like you rightly pointed out, that you need to give a patient listening to the people. That is a very important trait and very essential thing, both for the salesperson also and much more for the HR. So, like you were able to identify that and shift into the HR domain, and definitely then the history itself is like speaking a lot about that how you have been managing across a team. So, how many people currently you are handling? What is the strength of the team that people report to you?
Currently, we have got a team of 18 people, and different functions have got different specific HRs to handle the employee life cycle. And obviously nowadays the learning and development plays a very important role. So there are some dedicated resources to handle that function.
Great. So, Subhankar, how did your experience at IMT CDL help you in carving your space in the HR domain?
Yeah, in fact, um, I feel that I have not been so fortunate to complete the education at one go. So I started with my career, and then ultimately, I could feel that there was a need of a formal education, and that's how I got enrolled here. Definitely, it helped me both ways. In fact, I feel that when a person does all the education at one go, that also has got its own advantages. But when you actually experience the practical aspect and then you come for a study, I think you can actually understand it better at times. So that definitely, when I was doing the studies, whatever was there in the textbook, I could better relate it. So that helped me a lot. Yeah.
In fact, I strongly believe that a management actually is a way of life. It's not just a subject. And when you are working, you have got a work experience, and then when you once get into any of the PDM programs, it enhances your understanding of the various concepts, what the various researchers, the case study writers, they have put across, and then you are able to see across those sort of things. Shubhankar, can you recall any example that you studied in your class and then you actually have seen across that this is something which is happening in the organization also, and you are able to see to it, yes, this is something which is there.
Uh, difficult to remember. It's a long time back. But yes, I feel that you know uh, creating that visibility, making people know about your skill sets and your competencies is very important. So I learned that even if there are some people who are introvert in nature and they talk less, and I was also a kind of person like that initially. Then I realized that I think somewhere I'm missing out. So I started talking to people, hearing them out, obviously, and also giving my point of view, which may be right and wrong. So all those things definitely helped. And also what happens is that when you are out of the classrooms for a quite long time, I somehow feel at some intervals it should again come back. So uh, I definitely suggest all that whosoever is listening to this, that even if you are a very senior official or a mid senior official, um, you know at regular intervals I think you should enroll yourself into some classroom courses or some courses, uh, because what happens when you are in a practical world, uh, you actually uh, miss a lot of theoretical concepts, and it's very important to go into that framework again where you are free to talk to anybody, you can interact with anybody, you have people with whom you can talk without any kind of baggage in mind. So I think that framework you can get only in a course or a setup where the education system is run. So this definitely helps, and I really wish that I should be able to continue this till the time I am there in the corporate world, like enroll into something or the other, and keep the educational curve on.
Absolutely true. Like somewhere down the line, we need to refresh ourselves.
Yeah.
We have been doing so many things. What education does is actually education aligns our thought process. So we are able to actually see the bigger picture. Once you're able to see the bigger picture, our effectiveness actually enhances.
Right.
Now, this is what I believe that this is what the education does. And every now and then we need to refresh ourselves, because there are going to huge knowledge which is spread across. Now, another thing that comes in today's scenario, which is very important, is we already are engaged in so many things, and we all understand. Now, most of our listeners, our students who are actually working professionals in the corporate world, they understand that we need to refresh ourselves, we need to get across and learn something new. But in our day-to-day schedule, we get stuck up in those routines itself. So somewhere down the line, we always talk about that we need to set across certain goals, certain targets. Subhankar, how did you see this entire thing? How to set across a goal and targets in such a difficult situation when there are so many pressures around you? And how do you set your goals and targets, and how did you achieve that?
Yeah, a very, very nice question. In fact, uh, see, at times what happens, we think too much. Okay, so I think the firstly, and that's the mistake, I also did, and maybe I keep doing it. So firstly you have to uh, think less. I think think less in the sense that you should be thinking on topics which are quite relevant and which has a larger objective to be played beyond yourself. I would refer to the book Wings of Fire. So there, I think as our ex-president Sir APJ Abdul Kalam, specifically he said that more than your personal objective, it is the country which comes first. So I somehow feel that you have to little bit look beyond yourself. Then I think you can have that happiness within yourself. Otherwise, what happens? You start comparing yourself with some other person. But we must always know that every individual has got a different career path, and obviously it may be same, it may not be same. If it is not same, it's okay. uh, uh, don't think too much, because ultimately what happens, it might actually be a roadblocker. If you are open, uh, then I think you can freely, and you can have a very sound sleep, and maybe you can be more energetic when you actually wake up next morning, and then again chase the goal for that day. So that's what I feel. Think less, think on relevant things, and have a clear cut focused goal. That will definitely help.
True. Absolutely true. Sometimes thinking less and doing more helps. Because for every action there are going to be pro and cons which are going to be there. We normally get into lot many of those pro and cons and try to come out with if something goes wrong, then what will happen. But if something is not happening, then also there's going to be an opportunity loss which is always going to be there. So what we need to do is we need to really think and actually think less and take more action. And definitely, the goals need to be set, but those goals, what I personally feel, need to be set across in a comfortable zone. And there can be even a baby steps, small steps which can help any person to achieve or get across onto a larger picture, larger. So normally, what happens, people see across that Subhankar has been given this award, Subhankar has been given so and so award, and he is recognized across. So a lot of people praise the success. But there's a lot of great and hard work which goes into that, a lot of sacrifices which goes into that. So can you throw some light on that? Like this is something that you feel that a person should take care of, so that he can really put across his effort towards in the right direction, getting lost onto the goals which he has to attain.
Right. I think the first and foremost thing is that you need to take care of the people. You need to take care of the team with whom you are actually working or collaborating. Because just like in a war, a general cannot win the war himself or herself. There has to be a team of soldiers to support. So that thing is very very important. And over the years, I have learned it that you have to take care of them. You have to talk to them beyond work. That's very very important. What happens is that we get so much engrossed in our work that we do not connect with the individual. And maybe the individual might be going through some very tough time. And that, affects the productivity also. And ultimately, that gap or the distance increases. But if you are a type of leader who has got that connect, although it's not possible that you can connect to everybody, but you should attempt to do that. through various forums. Some can be individual one-on-one activity, some can be group activity, some can be a much larger group, maybe through an online mode. So this activities definitely help, and what happens, people will then see you as a person who can be approached, who is approachable, who at least hears you. And if that kind of a aura is getting created, there is no way that people will have any disconnect with you. And this is one more thing which I am still learning. So every day is a learning process. So I am still learning it. So that is one thing I would like to focus on.
Absolutely true. There are going to be lot many HR skills that we talk about, and you rightly pointed out. The first thing is, as an HR person, we should be approachable. The person should be able to come to you and he should be able to speak his heart out. So that sort of a listening, that sort of a making that person comfortable actually is the key role or the key skill that I see across. Other than those hard skills which are required, whether it could be in terms of getting across the analytics in place or getting across any other technology thing in place, it is that people skill which is at the core, which is going to be there, which helps that particular person in getting across. Can you suggest certain ways how can a person develop these sort of a personality traits in him or herself? Lot many time people think over that I've taken a particular diploma or a degree in a particular human resource and now I become an HR professional. Nah. But when you actually get to know, then you see that there are going to different domains. And the skills that you just pointed out, can you throw some light how a person, it could be a fresher, it could be having some experience, how can he develop these skills within himself?
Yeah, it's not only required in the domain of human resource, it's required everywhere, in every function.
Actually.
Because most of the challenges which we see uh, are related to the behavioral aspect.
Yes.
And very less happens due to technical issues. Those things, definitely can be managed and resolved. But behavioral issues are such things which can't be until and unless you yourself start collaborating with that person, start talking to that person. So those things only an individual can change, that cannot be changed by some other person, until and unless the person realizes that these are the areas of improvement, or these are the gaps which I have. I seriously need to work on it. It's very difficult. So I somehow feel that uh, every individual should start knowing people more. And knowing people doesn't mean only the set of people with whom he or she works. It can be anybody and everybody. It can be beyond the function. It can be beyond the company also. Like external orientation is very important. Like going to forums, conferences, where you are meeting company officials of different organizations. That definitely helps you to be more patient. That definitely helps you to enhance your knowledge. It helps you to pick up the best practices which are going in that organization. Not only in HR, it can be any function. It can be sales, marketing, product, anything, technology. So all these things definitely would enhance that person, and definitely it will help that individual to get that kind of a grooming which is required to go to the next level.
I see HR as a 24 by 7 task, isn't it so? 365 days. Any person can give you a call any point of time and then you have to give a patient listening to him. And, so how do you really plan your day and plan your things, your personal life and your professional life? How can you able to create this sort of? I hope these things would have happened when at an odd time and when you are on a holiday, right? You know, getting across a call from any employer. Yeah, I'm so troubled. He has said this, he has said that. Some sort of a thing like that.
So obviously, there are few things where there is no compromise. So, like medical issues are there, any challenges, an employee faces. So not only HR, any individual who gets a call, maybe it can be his or her reporting manager, or it can be his or her skip level also. So I think everybody should have that kind of mindset that if somebody has called in an odd hour, it may be something urgent. So you should never be troubled, in picking up the call. Uh, Very few instances have come up where such kind of calls have come because of non-medical reasons.
Hmm.
Uh, Even if that comes, I somehow feel that running away from the situation doesn't help. Uh, you should face that situation boldly. And most of the time, I have seen that whatever you think, actually the opposite actually happens. So I would suggest every person not to be judgmental
Hmm.
and start, thinking of a conclusion that this is what is, must have been taken place. That's why the person is calling. Maybe it can be very different. It can be a personal call also. So be open to it. Don't be complicated and complex. So that will definitely help.
So, most of the time, this happens that there are going to very trivial issues which are going to be there, and people blow those things across. If you get across one of your employees who is having this sort of a situation, so how do you counsel that particular person?
Yeah, I somehow feel that anybody, see, we all are humans, okay? We all have that intelligence level. But it's the way you communicate, effective communication we talk about.
Yes.
If you are able to hear them out, and once the entire discussion is over from that side,
Mm.
even if you do not have an answer, if
Mm.
you say that, I will come back, still it's good. And if you have a solution, obviously, we can give a solution upfront and we can help them out. I think it's very important to hear the challenge or the problem which is going on. That is very, very important because that is the first thing which the person or an individual wants. That, is there a person to pick up my call and hear?
Here.
If that can be done, I think the rest of the thing, is a follow up. And the person who is hearing, if the person hears with, a clear objective that, okay, maybe today I have not been able to give a resolution, but maybe I'll have to come back within a day or 2 days. That kind of a commitment, if it is there, then that's the right kind of, attitude, I would say. I think, most of the problems will get resolved. And giving a clear-cut, candid answer is also at times very, very important. Black and white. You know, we can't hide behind the bush. So we have to be very clear-cut. If something will not happen, maybe we'll have to tell that this might not be possible now. But yes, if you do in such a way, maybe in due course of time, this benefit can be given to you. So that clearly communicating to an individual at times help. If we keep on, giving a clear-cut answer, or if we say that somebody else will give the answer, at times that will not work because it is like passing the buck, from one table to the another. So that will not. Somewhere it has to be a stop.
Absolutely true. in today's scenario, when we see the generation of today, today we dominated talk about them. This is the iGen. And when we talk about the iGen, basically this is an impatient generation that we are actually into. And definitely all the HR professionals who are dealing into technology areas, and you yourself have lived across, they have seen across these challenges a lot. The employees getting impatient very quickly, and because of that, what happens? The employee turnover rate has been increasing a lot. It is becoming a big challenge for the all the HR people. You are hiring at one end, another end, there people are going out, and again you are getting into the hiring phase again and again and again. You know. So, how do you feel? What advice would you like to give to those sort of students? Like, if they are moving out so quickly and changing across their career tracks and getting impatient. So, how they really need to put across this from the student perspective, and definitely in the end from the HR perspective also.
Yeah, yeah, a very nice question. In fact, consistency is very, very important. So my suggestion would be that there would be definitely challenges, but don't switch off, and and don't run away from that situation. Uh, it's very, very important to be patient, and as an individual, I would not say from an HR point of view, but as an individual, when I actually meet any person who has spent considerable amount of time in one organization, I have a deep respect, for those individuals. That itself means that the organization also must have seen some quality in that individual, and the individual has also seen some
Quality.
value addition in staying in that organization. That's why he or she continued in that organization. So be consistent, and whenever you make career moves, you have to be very, very careful, and maybe you have to critically evaluate whether you should shift or not. So I would say that if there is any issue or challenge, it's always better to open up heart and speak to the right person. Okay, and obviously, if there is nobody to hear, obviously in most of the organization, HR, people management functions are there. You should speak to them, and in any good organization, we really know what is the value addition HR professionals are creating. So they are playing a very, very important role, and in many issues like this, I have personally experienced that things look to be so big, but after having a candid conversation, things got resolved within minutes and hours, and that same team came up so well that they may be be in the top of the chart. So that's how it is like. So don't run off. Discuss the issues. That's
Discuss
more
the
important.
issues. Absolutely true.
And discuss with the right
Right person. That is more important, because if you put
sometimes gossip doesn't work.
doesn't work. Absolutely true. Absolutely true. Whenever you see a biodata, a resume in front of you, what are the key things that as an HR person you observe in that?
And again, I would like to say from an individual perspective. Obviously, the first one, I have told already that what is the kind of consistency the person has been through, and obviously the type of organizations he or she had worked. Because if you have worked in a good uh, company, which is cultured organization, you are more or less sure that this person already knows a lot of good practices, need not be you know taught so much. Maybe from a day or two he or she will start picking up the things, and you know he or she will be a self-starter kind of thing. So that is very important. And also the kind of career growth the person has got in the organizations. Like for example, if a person has got two promotions or three promotions, so that itself speaks that the, the person had demonstrated some qualities or some kind of achievements. That's the reason the organization had rewarded. So all these things matters. And rest, there are a lot of follow-up questions.
That's absolutely true. When we are putting across the resume in place, so definitely that it needs to have that sort of a consistency that needs to be showcased. That is very, very essential.
Yes.
Now, Subhankar, you have been doing a lot many projects, dealing with so many things. Any specific accomplishment that you like to share here with our audiences?
Yeah, not to be specific, but yes, there has been in the entire my life cycle, employee life cycle, got a project of opening up so many branches across India in one of the organizations. So, which really, at some point of time when I think I feel that how I have done it actually, or how the team had done it, actually, maybe must have done something. That's why we have been open to we have been able to open so much of branches. In one of the organization, obviously, one complete office had to be opened in a very short time with so much of manpower. So that was one more achievement. Yes. So such kind of thing definitely excites if you are working in one territory and you're very strong in that territory, and you are going to a new territory, and you'll have to have the right kind of resources in the system. I think this kind of projects definitely excites me, and I'm fortunate that currently also I'm doing the same thing. It's quite an exciting opportunity, and we are in a very exciting space.
And sometimes what happens, like we get into a downturn. It always happens in everybody's life and everything. There are going to be layoffs which might happen. You're not being very compatible with your seniors, something like that. So they push you into a corner and they don't give you a task where you can showcase yourself. So like what would be the advice that you like to give across to the people who are getting across troubled into this sort of thing? You are into a downturn, that how to keep themselves motivated. It's easier to say,
Yes.
than doing it.
So, most importantly, as I told, that don't think too much. Once the event has happened, generally people have a tendency to keep on speaking to people and narrating the incident. Uh, Basically, the person tries to showcase that I am right, the other person is wrong. So I think all those things, I think one should stop and should actually look beyond that, because there are a lot of an individual goes through a lot of challenges. The people who are actually taking such decisions also has got a lot of challenges and a lot of things, and maybe they have taken such decisions based on something, may not be targeting that individual, maybe for the benefit of the organization some decisions had to be taken. But as an individual, if somebody has gone through such kind of incidents, come out of that thing. If you stay in that thing, you will only sulk. So the best thing is that move forward in life, and moreover, if you get an opportunity to meet those people again in your life, you should do that rather than running away from those people. I think that will only improve you as a person.
True, absolutely true. It's part of life. Sometimes things go up, sometimes things go down. Sometimes projects they succeed, sometimes projects they fail. But from the failure also you get a lot of learning. From success also you get across a lot of learning. In today's scenario, when there are going to be things happening at such a rapid pace, so definitely you need to open up your mind to the learning scenarios, and learning could be coming from any place. So, in today's scenario, when there's a lot of technology which is happening around, and day in and day out, we are seeing across the AI is everywhere. Generative AI has been affecting each and every person's life, and there are going to be lot many challenges which have been seen across in the media, also in the journals, also everywhere we are talking about that. So we all understand that these are the things which are going to stay. Now, if there are employees who are actually using this generative AI to get across certain things and creating reports and everything, how do you see this? Do you think that this is something which could be acceptable, or do you think that this is something which should not be done, or what is your opinion on this?
So when the computers were also coming, we were saying that there will be no jobs, people will lose their jobs. So we had a lot of narrative, but ultimately what happened, more jobs got created. So I think same goes for this. Any new thing, I think you should be open to accept, and I think it's more important to learn in and out. And also, I feel whether those kind of things would be apt for your organization is more important. So it cannot be such that if somebody is doing it, I should also implement the same thing in my organization. So I think critically evaluating it is very important, and it at times really works actually. I have experienced this a few months back only. I actually was doing a task, and I somehow kind of calculated in my mind that it might take 2 days to complete that work, but I did it in 2 hours. So that's the kind of power, and also with a new flavor into it, and once the framework was ready, I put my kind of statements, the frame the statements which I wanted to see in that paper. So it's really powerful if it is used in the right way. Something like internet, if you use it in the right way, it's very powerful.
It's very powerful. In fact, most of the people have been using it to simplify the task. And if it is simplifying, then definitely it is something which is much more helpful. And it should not add to more complications. So that care has to be taken across. So, any advice that you like to give to our student as a final word, like since they want to enter into the HR domain and make career into HR, so what could be the final advice that you like to give it across to all our audiences, to our students?
First of all, be a good human being. That's the first and foremost thing. If you are good, if you think good about people, I think generally it comes back. People will also think good about you. Um, be transparent. Obviously, when I say being transparent, don't be so transparent also that it hurts people. I think the way you present yourself and the way you communicate matters a lot. At times, not so positive things are also being communicated in such a way it becomes very very positive. Okay, so that art, I think people should learn, and if you practice, it will definitely come. Nothing is impossible in this world, and the most important thing, never be afraid to take a risk, calculated risk. I mean to say, uh, don't be afraid of trying out new things. Be very creative and innovative. That's very very important. If people are doing it in the same way, how you can actually do it in a unique and different way, that will be maybe a factor for your career growth or promotion, or maybe getting a better incentive. So all these things, I think you should keep in mind.
True, absolutely true. Any book that you would like to recommend to our audiences?
And the Wings of Fire, I
Yeah,
that one should really. The real life stories, excites me a lot. Although I love fiction, but real life, examples really excites me. There is a lot to learn from that. Yeah, and even I think one should start knowing other people also, because as individuals everybody has got a journey. So I think we should start talking to people more, understanding people more, that how has been their journey. And the only thing which I see is that life is so beautiful, if you want to see it that way.
In that. Absolutely, absolutely. The beauty lies in the eyes of the beholder. So definitely, if I see positivity around, there are going to be positive things which would be happening.
Yes.
If I start criticizing each and everything that this is not happening, this is not happening, so definitely there are going to be things which are not going to be happening at all. Every individual is a bundle. So there are going to be certain things which are positive and certain things which are negative. So it cannot be that the negativity can be cut away from that particular person. So it is going to be complete bundle, and we have to accept it as it is. Subhankar, thank you very much for sparing time and being here with us. It was really a wonderful session that we had. I'm pretty sure that all of our audiences, all of our alumni and the students who are viewing this, they would be taking wonderful insights into this. Subhankar is very much reachable on LinkedIn. So if anybody wants to put across his viewpoints and get across onto us, he can get in connected to the on a LinkedIn also, and he can write to us at IMT CDL, and definitely we would be coming out with the answers regarding any of your HR questions, any of your HR queries, and we would be helping you across in developing your career. This is what the IMT Center for Distance Learning goal is. So thank you everybody. Thank you for being here. Thank you, Subhankar.
Thank you very much. Thank you.